Okay, here we go with part 2 of our deal. So this will be Amendments 6 through 10, as well as your assignment. And this is for Friday, December 11th. Okay, so Sixth Amendment. This is the right to speedy trial by impartial jury, meaning not favoring either side. So what they do is they take a jury of your peers, people from your community, to make up who decides if you're guilty or innocent. Now, with that, there's some debate as to where they get the people to draw from, whether it's from DMV, that you got your driver's license, or if you're registered to vote, and they take that information and put you in that pool. I don't have a for sure answer because I've heard different things from different people. All I can say is that with me, from the time I turned 18 until I was about 30-ish, 32, it seemed like every time I was eligible to get on a jury, I was picked. And my wife, who's now been driving for 40 years and voting for almost 40, has never been picked for a jury. So it's just kind of a random luck of the draw. It's been a few years since I've been on one. My most recent one was here at Clayton. And, that's probably been about 8 or 10 years ago now. Anyway, so I've served on several. One was a murder trial that they ended up kicking me out because the district attorney at that time had been in my classroom when I was in high school, and they thought that would be too much of influence on me, so they kicked me out. My first year teaching, I got to serve on one about a middle school girl that was being abused, and they almost kicked me out, but then because teaching middle school kids would make me not quite so impartial, but they decided to let me stay. And the most recent one was a civil jury, so it wasn't a crime. It was where somebody was suing a company because they had mesothelioma, which is lung cancer, that they were suing the company to get more money out of. And they seated the jury, and then the person looked at who was making up the jury and went, I think I'll take the offer that the company made me instead of trying to sue for more because they didn't think he's going to get more from us. Anyway, so it's a long process. When we get back to being in person, I'll tell you more about being on a jury and what that's like. Also, according to the Sixth Amendment, you must be told of your charges. They can't just lock you away and not tell you. You have a certain amount of time before you take you before your judge and say, you have been arrested for this or this or this and this. And then you must be provided a lawyer. Even if you can't afford one, they will give you an attorney. That's why that part of those rights they read you. Seventh Amendment, juries can decide on civil cases. So again, getting back to the jury thing, it's not just a judge, but a jury can sit down and decide if you are guilty, or if you owe somebody something. It's not guilty of a crime, sorry. If you owe somebody money based on something. So it's possible to harm another person without committing a crime. In that case, the injured party may sue for money. Okay, so sometimes you'll get those things about the Judge Judy's and those kinds of TV courtroom stuff. Those are people trying to get money out of somebody else. So that's where you go. Okay. Actually, probably one of the more famous ones about that was the O.J. Simpson trial. They put him on trial at first for murdering his ex-wife and some guy that was with her. He was not convicted of that. He was found innocent. But then the family of the young man that was with her sued to get money out of him, for wrongful death. And in that case, he was liable. And so he did have to pay. I don't know how much they got, or if they really got much out of him. Not sure. So there you go. Eighth Amendment. No excessive bail and no cruel and unusual punishment. So if you get arrested for shoplifting a candy bar, they can't, your bail is going to be $5 million, right, for a dollar candy bar. That would be excessive bail. And no cruel and unusual punishment. So if you get convicted of a crime, like the part of the punishment can't be, you have to go clean all of the bathrooms at Clayton with your tongue, kind of thing. That would be gross, cruel, unusual. So there you go. Can't do those things. So it protects you somewhat as a person who might be convicted of a crime. Ninth Amendment, this one's really a very general one. Okay, it's what they call the elastic clause, kind of. So this states the rights listed in the Constitution are not the only rights that citizens have. That there is no way that they could sit there and write down every single right that you have. That Constitution would go on and on and on, and would still be going on today, okay, as things change. So with that image there, so like the right to an education, okay, it's not mentioned in the Constitution, but because you are a citizen of the United States, you have that right. Same thing with, say, driving. You have the right to drive a car, okay, until you do something stupid enough to get that right taken away from you. 10th Amendment means if the power is not given specifically to the national government, to the federal government, then it falls to the states and the people to have that. Again, this is a way to protect states and individuals that they were really, really worried about 200 years ago when they wrote this Constitution. So the image there kind of goes with hunting. Okay, the federal government doesn't necessarily say much about hunting, but it falls to the states. That's why I have the Nevada Department of Wildlife to oversee that within the state of Nevada. So our rules in Nevada about hunting will be different than rules in other states. Okay, because it goes state to state to state. All right, that's just a couple of examples for you, which is funny because you're going to need those examples for what I show you, I hope, or what I might have for you. Okay, so your assignment you're going to do with this stuff is you're going to create your own poster or your own PowerPoint that has all of the 10 amendments. So this is going to be worth 25 points. So there's 3 things for each amendment. 1, you're going to write the amendment number. So just numbering a paper 1 through 10 is going to get you 5 points. Those are half point each. Okay, or giving me 10 slides with a number on there. Amendment 1, Amendment 2. That gives you 5 out of your 25 points just for doing that. Second thing, you have to have what the amendment does. So each of those rights. So for the First Amendment, you're going to have the freedom of speech, of religion, of the press, the right to assemble, and the right to petition the government. You have all 5 of those things down there for that First Amendment. And then for the rest as well. And then you have some sort of illustration, a picture, an image. If you're going to make your own poster, like for on paper that you're going to show me or take a picture of, you can draw, whatever you want on there. If you're going to make a PowerPoint, and you're going to be uploading images to the PowerPoint. Okay, you may use my stuff as a reference. Okay, but you must create your own. Do not copy and paste. So with this PowerPoint that I've shown you, some of it is from a teacher that gave this to me, that shared it with me, and I've made some changes and done some things of my own. Okay, so you are not allowed to use this to say, oh, here's copy, here's paste, boom, here's my deal, looks just like yours, Mr. Wacker. That's not what you're going to do. But you can use my stuff as, for any of these 10, as your reference point. That way you can stop, you can make sure you type in each of the rights, okay, and then come up with your own image. All right? So it's 25 points. Again, I don't care if it's done by poster or like a piece of paper where you put all 10 of them on there in little tiny squares, like a cartoon almost, or if you use 10 separate pages, which I really don't want because that's a lot of paper, or if you make your own PowerPoint that you can upload to me. Okay, that would be great. This is what you're watching on Friday because I will not be here. So you will have however long it takes you. There's like 15 minutes on the first part of this, and this is going to be about 10, so that's 23 minutes of your 50-minute class. So you'll have another 23 minutes or so to be working on this in class, 27 minutes. And if it takes you longer than that, it takes you longer than that. You got to do this on your own. But it is due the next time I see you, which will be Tuesday, December 15th. Tuesday, December 15th, if not before. Okay, if you have any questions, you can send me messages through Teams or email me. I will still have access to that, even though I won't be here because I'll be with my wife. All right? Thank you very much. It's been a great time, and I will see you when I get back on Tuesday.